This video was recorded with the AverMedia Live Gamer Portable.
Skip it up and that up. What's going on, folks? Rich of Review Tech USA, and if you buy this chick 2 drinks, she's all yours. If you actually want her. So that Matt Higbee, the creative director of PlanetSide 2, is talking about that PS quadruple, son. He's talking about that multi-core processor in the PS quadruple and why it's going to be a challenge for the PS4. He also talks about why they can't do cross-game play between the PS4 and the PC. I'll get into all that right now. So why won't the multiplayer aspect between the PS4 and PC versions of PlanetSide 2 be able to coincide? It's simple, because updates for the PS4 version of PlanetSide 2 are going to have to go through approval on the PlayStation Network. It takes more time, and to try to keep the PC and PS4 version of PlanetSide 2 in sync is next to impossible. So they're just giving up on that, and it's kind of understandable. Now, why is it going to be tough to utilize the PS4 hardware? It's simple, and this goes for the Xbox One too as well, is that the AMD processor, to take full advantage of it, you have to multi-thread code. It has 8 cores, and to really take advantage of what the AMD processor and the PS4 and Xbox One offer, you have to take advantage of all the cores. The 4-light engine that PlanetSide 2 runs on, it's multi-threaded, but it's not meant to utilize that many cores, okay? He said that, if you have an Intel processor, because Intel has more horsepower per core in their CPUs, it runs a lot smoother on Intel machines. And because of the fact that, they haven't really fully utilized the 4-light engine to multi-thread, that's the issue that they're having with the PlayStation 4 right now, is that, it has that 8-core AMD CPU, and they have to recode the engine basically to make it take advantage of all 8 cores of the processor inside the PlayStation 4. Now, when PlayStation Lifestyle first put up this article, they actually kind of made a mistake with the title. They made it seem like it was a PS4 specific issue that the PlanetSide 2 team was having. No, it's if you have an AMD machine at home, if you have an AMD gaming rig with like an FX chip in it, you're having issues with that too. They have to now change their engine to really utilize the multitasking capabilities of these next-gen consoles and their processors, and they need to do the whole multi-threading thing, because right now they're not really doing it. Now, this, I think, in a weird way, is a very good thing for AMD, because if you're an AMD guy, I think this generation, due to the fact that both the PS4 and Xbox One have AMD CPUs in them, you're going to see a performance boost with games and just things in general. Because if you really think about it, really up until very recently, especially because a lot of PC games, I have to admit, are just console ports with a prettier coat of paint, you could have had a dual-core processor that, as long as it was beefy enough and fast enough, and most of the games out there you still could have slaughtered on PC and had at max settings with no problem. I think I remember Linus Tech Tips talking about, like, the first time he really noticed that you needed a quad-core processor was with Battlefield 3, because if you had a dual-core, there would actually be players, like the AI players, like if you were playing single-player, were missing on the screen. Like, they would actually cut out players if you only had a dual-core processor. So this, I think, is a good thing for not only AMD, but gaming in general, because, AMD has been boasting FX 8 cores, it's super powerful, but a lot of developers, for whether it be productivity software like, I use Sony Vegas or even games, haven't taken advantage of it, because a lot of times, like I said, with games, they were console ports. And I think I read an article and I tried to find it and I couldn't. If someone knows where it is, you can link it below or mention it in the comment section, that the Xbox 360, because I know a lot of people are saying, Rich, the current generation of consoles have, multi-core processors, but the Xbox 360's main CPU, all 3 cores combined, and I know that can multi-thread, doesn't even have as much horsepower as a first-generation, 1 core of a first-generation Core i7. So, yeah, man, I think this is, the fact that now developers, especially because the fact that these next-gen consoles, the Xbox One and PS4, are x64 based just like PCs, we're going to see a big boost when it comes to PC gaming. And I think a lot of the AMD guys, the AMD, I'll call you fanboys, which I'm kind of one too, even though I don't own an AMD processor anymore. AMD served me very well for many, many years, man. You're going to see a boost in the FX chips, I think. Not right away. It'll be a couple years, but you're going to see games and productivity software now taking advantage of 4 cores, 6 cores, 8 cores, which kind of sucks for me because I have a quad-core Intel Core i7, and both Intel and AMD, I'm sure, are going to come out with more than quad-core. I mean, AMD already has, but Intel, I'm sure, is going to come out with an 8-core chip and make my chip totally irrelevant. Welcome to technology and how fast it progresses. But anyway, that's my take on this whole thing with PlanetSide 2 and the challenge they're having with the PS4. I think indirectly it's a good thing. Even if you're a PC-only gamer, you should take this as good news too, because now they're actually going to take advantage of your hardware. Yeah! Anyway, folks, make sure to rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for supporting Review Tech USA. Have a good one.